and so do parents. In fact, family life is wonderful, especially if each member has a good start, even before he is born. The Waites are looking forward to a new arrival. Mother makes sure that the new baby will have a healthy start. They're busy tying it firmly to the table so that it will not be able to tip out when it's asleep. Although this will be her third, Mrs. Wade feels that she still has something to learn about babies. After all, no two babies are alike. Her preparations include lots of rest, good food, and attendance at prenatal classes, which her doctor has recommended. This book, given out by the public health nurse at the class, is full of practical information and helpful ideas. The news has spread. Confidentially, this is going to be Kim's baby. Mrs. Howells has been engaged to look after the family while Mother is in the hospital. She will stay for a week or so after Mrs. Wade gets back to help out until Mother feels stronger. The big day has arrived. Cameron hasn't quite outgrown the look at me stage. After all, not very long ago, he was the baby. Now he has a rival. Family happiness may depend on Mother and Dad's sympathetic understanding of the children's big problem. They're learning to accept the new rival, whose demands are not only insistent, but also important. Now he's not just it, he is Jonathan, a real person, a serious, self-protecting individual whose physical and mental growth are so merged that if you damage one, you may indeed damage the other. His actual bodily feelings and emotions are almost the same thing. He is helpless and dependent, but he is self-centered. He wants only food, warmth, sleep, and comfort. If Mother respects these wants, he goes sweetly along. But if she doesn't, he stands up for his rights. His cry is his only way of telling the world that something is wrong. His most urgent demand is for food. Mrs. Wade always makes sure that Jonathan is dry and comfortable before he is fed. Uncomfortable feeding times now might lead to feeding problems later on. This is a good beginning. A pleasant experience at these early meal times is important because most of Jonathan's waking hours are spent this way. Cameron isn't excluded from the baby's nursing time. He enjoys chatting with Mother, and it helps him to accept the baby as part of the family. Sometimes Jonathan slows down and almost falls asleep before he has had enough to last until the next meal. This is because his tummy feels full, but it is mostly air, and Mother holds him up for a burp. Perhaps once or twice during a feeding, and always at the end of the nursing. By letting Jonathan's natural hunger dictate the feeding times, Mrs. Wade will soon arrive at a satisfactory routine of nursing hours, which will suit both her own daily schedule and Jonathan's. It may seem like months, but it will only take weeks. Jonathan is one of the lucky ones. So is Dad. No bottles to be heated in the middle of the night. It is notable for all babies to be breastfed. If for some reason Mrs. Wade had not been able to nurse Jonathan, her doctor would have recommended a suitable formula. A simple method of preparing for bottle feeding is to sterilize the bottles and formula at the same time by boiling the bottles after they are filled. All the articles to be used are washed in hot, soapy water. A particular scrubbing is given the inside of the bottles, the nipples, and the nipple caps. All are rinsed and drained, and the holes in the nipples are checked to make sure that they are clear and just the right size for a steady flow. The day's formula recommended by the doctor is measured into 6 bottles. The inverted nipples are placed in the bottles and the caps screwed on loosely. The bottles are put in warm water and brought to a full boil for 25 minutes, then cooled. Caps are screwed down and bottles put in the refrigerator. There are many kinds of suitable nursing bottles which can be used. Mrs. Wade safeguards Jonathan's health by washing her hands before feeding, be it breast or bottle feeding. The cold formula is heated in warm water and it is kept warm while the baby is changed. When the nipple is reversed, care must be taken not to touch the part the baby will suck. Bottle feeding should be as much like breastfeeding as possible. The milk should be at about body temperature. It should be done in a leisurely, comfortable way, a chance for both mother and baby to enjoy one another's company. The baby is relaxed, but keeps on sucking. The Wades actually give Jonathan an occasional bottle so that he will get used to it. It gives Dad a chance to get to know Jonathan better, and Mother a chance to go out once in a while. But at this age, no baby should be left alone with the bottle propped up. He could choke this way. And he shouldn't be cheated of affection like this, because at this age, love and security at mealtimes are as important as food. After food and love, Jonathan's greatest need is for rest. The basket is large enough to allow him some freedom. With a firm mattress and a smooth sheet, a baby may be left on his tummy safely. Covering should be light and loose so that he can move easily. Mrs. Wade uses woolen blankets, but babies who are allergic to wool, of course, use cotton or nylon. Even in cool weather, several light covers are better than one heavy one. In very hot weather, Jonathan is covered as lightly as possible. After all, he is a normal human being. He may have some smart little suits, but like Dad, he's probably much more comfortable in his shirt sleeves. Jonathan sleeps away most of his life these days. At 3 weeks, he is sleeping 16 or 20 hours a day. Sometimes he sleeps on his back. Like most people, he likes a change. When he sleeps on his tummy, there is less danger of choking if he spits up food after his meals. Sometimes he cries between his feedings. Mrs. Wade isn't worried by this because she's had the experience of the other children. There must be some reason for his waking. The trick is to find the reason. One day it may be one thing, the next day something else. He may be just tired of lying in one position. Perhaps he is wet or has soiled his pants. If there is a little gas in his tummy, a burp would help. He may be too cold or too hot. He may just fuss a little before going off to sleep, especially if he's been sleeping all day. Mrs. Wade knows the difference between fussing and real crying. If he is crying hard, it may be hunger, in which case only feeding will put an end to it. Or he may be overtired. We don't know all the causes of crying, but often just a little loving will quiet him. When Jonathan is asleep, the Wades let him sleep as a normal member of the household. Everyday noises should not bother him. Even so, the change in family life is almost sure to affect the children in ways that may seem unconnected with the baby. Kim may be working off unconscious jealousy. Better she scolds Dolly than Jonathan. Cameron never used to suck his thumb. A child sees things from a child's point of view. Is there still enough love to go around? Refusing to eat is one sure way of getting Mother's attention. If Cameron can be subtle, so can Daddy. Cameron doesn't know that this is an antidote to thumb sucking, but it is the best. Mother's Day may seem to be too busy for her to attend to the little extra demands for attention that Kim makes, but this will pay off in the long run in family happiness. And it may avert this sort of thing. Kim's friends love to tiptoe, and she loves to show off the baby. But they mustn't wake him, because Mother is trying to help him develop regular sleeping habits. If visitors want to see him awake, they must come at a feeding time. Cameron has always enjoyed Aunt Anne's attention. If she forgets to give it to him now, he'll find a way to get it. Mrs. Wade consults the family doctor about when to begin vitamins and other foods. Jonathan is doing just fine, and she wants to keep him that way. She makes a date for the first of his regular checkups. Also, she makes a date for herself for what Dr. Brown calls a postpartum examination about 6 weeks after the baby's birth to make sure that she is in good health. In addition to milk, the doctor has recommended vitamin D from the age of 1 week. When he is 2 weeks old, Jonathan will need vitamin C as well as D. Many babies are given multiple vitamin drops at this age, but the Wades prefer to give him vitamin C in natural food. And so, at 2 weeks old, besides vitamin D, Jonathan starts on orange juice diluted with cool boiled water to make it easier to take. He begins to learn to take food from a spoon. The automatic sucking action of his tongue may make him spit out most of the juice at first, but Mother uses a tiny spoon, not too cold, and she pops it onto the back of his tongue. While he is learning, it's a good idea to give him his juice just before his bath. His daily bath is a big experience. The room is warm enough so that he can enjoy his freedom for a few minutes, and the water is comfortably warm. There he is, with his short legs, protruding stomach, hands that grope aimlessly, and a head that seems too big for his body. Each day he gains in his struggle to change from infant into child. Even at 3 weeks, he is never left alone on the table. The towel keeps his body warm while his face is washed with clear water. His head is washed with a soapy hand and then thoroughly rinsed to prevent cradle cap, while Jonathan is held securely over the tub, still in the towel. Next, his hair is dried with a folded end of the receiving towel. While he is in the tub, Jonathan's head and neck are held with one hand, while his body is carefully soaped and rinsed with the other. Then he is lifted onto one towel and immediately covered and patted dry with the other. In a few weeks, the bath will be a high point in his day, but until he shows signs of joy in it, Mrs. Wade does it as quickly as possible. The folded end of the towel can be pulled down to make a dry area for dressing. Jonathan's clothes all open in the back or the front to avoid the necessity of pulling them over his head. Mrs. Wade just dries the creases with clean absorbent cotton. Some mothers use a little oil or cornstarch or powder after the bath. The diapers are fresh and sweet, having been rinsed 3 times and dried in the breeze. Mrs. Wade, of course, uses only mild, pure soap for the baby's washing. Most of his shirts and nighties were bought in at least the 6-month size, because with the experience of the other children growing so fast, his mother knew that he would soon outgrow the tiniest size. She was careful to buy the layette in fabrics that are light and warm and wash easily without shrinking. When he is dressed for bed, Jonathan is not bundled too tightly. Folding up his nightie keeps it dry and leaves him free to exercise his legs. By the end of his first month, Jonathan is having a morning nap outside if the weather is warm enough. He is put in a sheltered, sunny spot, but the sun is not allowed to shine in his eyes. Jonathan has come into a family where the fun of childhood is enjoyed. His mother is sensitive to the needs of both his physical and his emotional growth. She respects his demands and answers them with understanding. She lets him feel her affection so that he feels secure in this strange new world. Jonathan is headed for a good life.